Why play Fiddlesticks Jungle?
There's like those 3-minute videos. Why you should play Karthus Jungle.
Yeah.
Ludwig's Guide for Fiddlesticks Jungle. Well, after watching Ludwig learning League for the last few months, this is where he could improve. Starting off is his warding. Looking at this clip, dragons coming up in 30, he's already there, this is great. What they should do now with a player advantage is walk into the enemy jungle and get wards everywhere. This will let Ludwig's team have perfect information and be able to counter anything they try to do. However, Ludwig hasn't bought a control ward and only has one effigy available. He uses his effigy here, which is good as it makes sure the opponent doesn't have vision of him. But if he had a control ward to place here, place his effigy deeper, and Thresh actually warded on this side, he'd have much more information of the entire enemy jungle and be able to look to make plays in their blue pit or maybe even their wolves. Unfortunately, as they only have control of this area, Ludwig is forced to play in the brush, which ultimately leads to a lost teamfight. Buying these control wards and making sure to get deeper vision will just give him more opportunities to make plays. And if we look at this clip, we see a massive difference. We see Ludwig in this area, and we have wards here and here clearing out vision. A ward goes down here, so he goes and clears it out too. This is brilliant. Ludwig now controls this entire area, and he can make a play from anywhere around here. The enemy team no longer has any idea where he is, so when he goes in for his ultimate, it's a massive play. He immediately takes the Ezreal and Bard out of the fight and then goes over to help the Gwen, and even though he dies, Gwen goes on for a quadra. And this is the face of a man who knows he's done well. And the reason he's done well is because he's taken the time to control the area. And this brings us on to point 2, which is how often he decides he needs to be the one to engage. The two problems with Fiddle's engage are, of course, it has a charge timer to his ultimate, so the enemies could just walk away, and also being the first person to goes in means the enemy team has all their cooldowns to throw at you. We see it clearly in this clip where they happen to have walked away and then just kill him. This is why it's always stronger to be the follow-up engage, which we see in clips like this. Thresh has already started the fight and Ludwig follows up by ulting in. It's not the biggest or flashiest ult in the world, but it makes sure Diana dies and they win the fight. This gives them the advantage to find 2 more kills, get mid tower and get dragon for a massive snowball. And Ludwig describes it perfectly.
That's great. That's one of them team fights that you look back on and you realize won you the game.
And all of this came from him playing the follow-up engage from Thresh engaging. In this clip, we see a fight around Herald. As soon as Thresh lands his hook, his team has got a favourable engage, so Ludwig should go in. Essentially, you just need to be aware of what your teammates can do to engage and be ready to follow up if they do. And this brings us on to my final point of his pings and communication. He's playing in Silver Elo where people are still learning and they're a lot more focused on themselves and don't always know what you're doing. So in this clip where he's going for the engage, just spam ping that you're going in. Just always give your team as much notice as possible. And this is shown even worse in this clip, which is truly tragic. Ludwig's team has all the pressure, so he starts Rift Herald. His team then fully abandon him, allowing him to be collapsed on, getting killed and losing the objective. So when walking there, spam ping that you're going there. And then when you start it, go over to your allies and spam ping for assistance right on their face so they actually see.